1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. It is one of the gentlest sentences in all of Scripture. And for some of us, it has quietly become one of the hardest. Because we believe it. We have read it kneeling in the dark. And still the worry sits on the chest like a stone. And we begin to wonder why a promise this kind will not seem to work in us. Here is what nobody tells you when they hand you that verse. They say cast, as though it were a single motion, as though you could gather the fear in two hands and throw it, once, and watch it go. So you try. You pray the words. And when the anxiety is still there in the morning, you do not conclude that casting is hard. You conclude that something is wrong with you. So let us be honest before we are comforted. If you have tried to cast your anxiety and felt it stay, you are not faithless and you are not broken. You were simply handed a verb with no instructions and then quietly blamed for not knowing how. Tonight, I do not want to repeat the verse at you. I want to sit with the part nobody explains, what casting actually looks like in a body that will not calm. Let us begin with what casting is not, because the wrong picture is half the wound. Casting is not deleting the feeling. The same Peter who wrote that verse watched the Lord he loved sweat in a garden until it fell like blood, asking for the cup to pass. If casting meant the anxiety vanished, then Gethsemane was a failure. And it was not. It was the truest prayer ever prayed in a trembling body. Casting is also not a single heroic throw you either land or fail. The word Peter chose is closer to laying a heavy load onto someone stronger, the way you set a burden down on a table because your own arms gave out. And a load that heavy does not stay down on the first try. You set it down, and it climbs back onto your shoulders, and you set it down again. That is not you failing to cast. That is casting. Hear this clearly, because someone needs it said plainly. The fact that you have to cast the same anxiety 1,000 times is not proof that the first 1,000 did not count. It is proof that you are still turning toward him instead of away. The repetition is not the failure of the verse. The repetition is the obedience the verse was always asking for. So, how do you do it on the nights the chest is tight and the words will not come? You start in the body, not above it. You let the breath go long and slow, because a slowed breath tells the oldest part of the brain that the threat has passed. And that is not a trick around faith. It is using the body God built as the very hand that sets the burden down. Casting can begin as an exhale. Then you name it, plainly, the way the Psalms do. Out loud if you can. Not a polished prayer. Just, Lord, here is the fear. I cannot carry it tonight. I am handing it over again. And here is the part nobody adds. Sometimes handing it over means handing some of it to the people he gave you. A friend who answers the phone, a counselor, a doctor, medicine that quiets an overactive alarm so you can hear him again. None of that is casting less. It is casting through the hands he provided. The disciples in the storm did not cast their fear by feeling calm. They cast it by stumbling across a pitching boat to where Jesus was. That is the whole motion, not the absence of the wind, but the turning of the body toward the one who is in the boat with you. You do not have to arrive at peace to have cast. You only have to keep turning toward him through the spray, again and again and again. Go back to the verse and notice the part we skip in our hurry to obey it. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. The casting was never the point. The caring was. The verse does not end with a command you must perfect. It ends with a reason you are already held. You are not throwing your fear into an empty sky. You are setting it down into hands that were reaching for it first. So on the nights you cast and the weight climbs back on, do not add the second burden of shame on top of the first. You did not fail the verse. You are living it, one tired handing over at a time. And when your own hands cannot manage even that, when the alarm will not stop and the dark feels total, let that be permission, not failure, to reach for help. The God who said, "Cast it on me," is not offended by the help he sent to carry it. So cast it again tonight, as clumsily as you need to. Not once and perfectly, but slowly and often, the way the tide returns. Set it down, breathe, turn toward him, and let it be enough that you turned. The anxiety may still be loud when you finally sleep, but his care does not rise and fall with your heartbeat. He cares for you. He always did. And that grace is louder than the noise.